Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. A few weeks back I made some content on some new, existing Olights that are coming out in different colours, and one of the ones that we looked at was the Oclip Pro, which is now available in white. And I mentioned how these are genuinely my favourite Olights. I really like the Baton 3 Pro, and there's a couple of other ones in there, but as far as EDC lights, I find the multifunctionality of these Oclips is really impressive. And I have all three of them, so I thought it'd be useful to do a little bit of a comparison between all three of them, but also just kind of touch on why I think these are such awesome EDCable everyday lights. Now I thought what we do beforehand is just to make sure that everyone's clear. So this is the original, this is the Oclip. It is a small light that you can clip onto you, which is still multifunctional. This has a white light and a red light. Very easy to be able to swap between those lights, and you can pretty much clip this onto anything and everything. I'm guessing from the popularity, there's a lot of flies around today, so apologise for the wafting. I'm guessing from the popularity of the Oclip, that's why Olight went, well, we could probably improve on this. And that's where the Oclip Pro came in. So there's a few more different functions on here. You have two white lights, and you also have a red light on this as well. But it's just ever so slightly bigger, ever so larger battery, which means, so with the Olight, the Oclip, the maximum that you can get out of this is 300 lumens, whereas with the Oclip Pro on its turbo mode, the maximum you can get is 500 lumens, but you can still get 300 lumens, which I think is the best on when you're just using it on its high mode. The advancements that they made with the Oclip Pro, they then brought out an Oclip Ultra. So Olight's Ultra series are very similar to the kind of non-Ultra flashlights, but instead, so I think it was this year, it was towards the end of last year, 2024 into 2025, where Olight started to release a lot of their lights using their own AO, it says it on the front here, I forgot it for a second, it was OAL, which is their Olight aluminium. So they've actually created their own alloy of aluminium, which is, these other two are made from 6061 T6 aluminium, which is very good. It's very tough, it's very durable, but they've managed to make their own aluminium, which has even more kind of tough properties and wear resistance. It's closer to the likes of titanium than it is likes to the 6061 T6 aluminium. So this does pretty much the identical to the Oclip Pro. The difference with this one is it has those two white lights, but instead of having the red light on here, it has a UV light instead. But they're all very simple to be able to switch between these different modes and just to kind of clip onto things. So there's just a little brief history about each of the three lights. Now let's get a little bit more into the three things where I think these are awesome everyday lights. Now the first one has to be the clip on the back of each of these. So I've had other lights where the clips just feel more of a, someone's gone, hey, this is a nice light, maybe we should throw a clip onto the back of it. So it just feels like it was kind of a secondary function that somebody went, yeah, I reckon I could do that. With the Oclips, these feel like from the ground up that these were designed to be a clip that has a light on it, and I think that's the difference. Others seem to be like torches that have clips, whereas these are clips that feel like they have lights. The clips, the springs in each of these is super tough. They're absolutely indestructible. Well, I'm sure you probably could destruct one, but under usual circumstances, they're incredibly tough. They've also got little bits of rubber in here as well, and it's rather than just the tip where you'd kind of call this the teeth. So it does have a tip that it grips onto there, but even then past here, inside here, and on the roof here as well, if that was a roof of your mouth, and the bottom jaw here, it also has more of that rubber to make sure that if it's clipped onto something, there's additional purchase on here. Now when they're not clipped onto things, because the clip is so well integrated into these lights, it just doesn't feel like a clip. It just feels like you've got a small 90-degree torch or flashlight in your hand that you can walk around and you can do things. But with the additional that, if you ever need to just clip this onto something, maybe you've got a backpack, you want to clip it onto the sternum strap, pretty much anything you can clip this to. But they did go an extra mile with the clip, and they have included batteries within these. So within the clip, I forget which end they are, it's this end. So on the Oclip Pro and the Oclip Ultra, this little bit here, the bit that you press to open the jaws so that you can clip this onto something, that's where the magnet is, and it's a good strong magnet. It's not one of those little kind of paw magnets that when you clip it onto something, it only just kind of holds the weight of the light. These are good strong magnets that if you clip it onto, or if you can't clip it onto something, you want to attach it to something that's metal or steel, then it will definitely keep its own weight. Whereas with the original Oclip, rather than it being here on the bit that you press for the jaws to open, instead it's here just on the back of the lower mandible if this was a jaw. So again, you can attach this to pretty much anything. Now the second thing is definitely the multifunctionality from the lights on here. So with the smaller Oclip, you press to turn this on and you've got the low, medium or high, but then as I mentioned, so you can double click on the side and this will change it to this white light. Super useful if you want to be able to check a map, you're out in the dark and you need to preserve your night sight. But again, just clipping this onto something, and there is also a beacon mode with that as well. So if maybe you've broken down somewhere and your car is completely flat, as long as you can magnetize this to the side of your car, then you've got an additional light on the side that you can use to signal that you're there. Now with the Oclip Pro and the Oclip Ultra, you have a side switch on here. So with the Oclip, it's just a single button that you press on the side and change it between the different functions, whether it's a long press or a single press or a double press. Whereas with the Oclip and the Oclip Pro and the Oclip Ultra, you have this dial on the side. So as I mentioned, with the three, you have two white lights on both of these. You have both a floodlight, which has got a low candela but forces the light over a larger area, or you have a spotlight, which is a higher candela and forces the light into a smaller area, where you actually get a better throw with this. So turning these on and off on the side is a simple button press. At the moment it's on its floodlight mode, but if I want to change this so that it's on its spotlight mode, all I have to do is just turn the dial on the side and then it will easily swap between each of those. The Olight Pro so the Oclip Pro is exactly the same. So I have this on now, it's on its floodlight mode. I switch the dial on the side there, and now it's turned it on so that it's on its spotlight mode. The difference between the two of these, as I've kind of previously mentioned, is with the Oclip Pro, you have a red light on this. So putting it into its third position, let's call that full auto for now, it turns it into its red light mode, where you have a couple of different red light functions on there and you can turn it off with the button on the side. Whereas with the Oclip Ultra, putting this into full auto position, now turns on the ultraviolet light on here. So if you need to use this for security purposes, maybe you want to be able to check banknotes, all of those kind of modern sort of banknotes, you can check those sort of things. Very easy to be able to do with all of these. That's why these really are some of the most multifunctional lights on the market. Now the third part is just how easy these are just with EDC. They're very small and so easy to pocket. If it is that you need to clip it onto you, being able to clip it onto you, one is simple, but they're very light. Now there's a pro and a con with that. As you can imagine, the battery life on here, it's good for everyday use, and being able to charge these also is very simple as well. There's none of the Olight proprietary magnetic cables. All of these have a USB Type-C port here on the side. The two The Pro and the Ultra have a little metal kind of clasp that goes over it, whereas with the original Oclip, it just has one of those bungs on here. But they're very easy to be able to recharge. So if you're concerned about the battery length that you get from these, you really don't have to worry, pretty much, because you can recharge these anywhere. But making these this size, being able to slip it into your pocket, you just don't know that it's there because they are so small. But having to worry about additional weight because you're having to carry around some sort of clip, that if you're worried that these are going to be heavy and bulky, no issues whatsoever. So there you have it. Now there was one last thing that I said was something that Olight have just recently released, and that is this head strap. And this makes perfect sense. So what this is an elastic head strap that is completely adjustable depending on the size of your melon and what you want to strap this to. If you have a helmet, this is also large enough that you can pull this all the way out, and it will also fit onto a helmet too. On the inside of the band, let's put it back where it was, on the inside of the band you also have this kind of silicone-y grippy section, so that when it's on your head, it is on there. Let's put this the right way around. It's on there good and fast, so I'm guessing if you're in an environment where you might do lots of sweating, you certainly don't have to worry about this slipping off your head. On the front here, this clip that your Oclip attaches to also comes down forwards and backwards. So the way they've done this is, it's just incredibly simple. So you have this bar section in which, where you have your clip, you open the clip, pass it through here, and it's now on here. It's so simple. Yeah, it's such a simple solution. So when it's on your head, you can angle this to make sure that it's pointing in the right direction. Did I just turn that on then for a second? In fact, let's turn this on. Let's put it onto spotlight mode. So there it's on, and then this moves up and down. I like the extra bit that they've added to this clip. So let's take off the Oclip Pro. Let's put on the Oclip Ultra for a second. You can see that goes on there. And whether you want to have the button on the bottom here, or if you want to have the button on the top, this slot that it fits into is completely ambidextrous. That probably is the best way for me to have it, so that the button's here on the top. It's easy for me to be able to press. But as mentioned, this moves up and down. But if I pull this out of here, and actually no, let's move that in for a second. Hopefully you'll be able to see you have one of these split clips here on the side. So if you have something, maybe you're a police officer and you have a vest that you use, rather than putting this so that it's constantly on your forehead, what you can do is, this is MOLLE compatible, so you could have this on here. Or if you're not a police officer, maybe if you're in the forces, or maybe if you just do a lot of backpacking, you could have this so that it's attached to the strap on your backpack, and then you could have this. Obviously you have to move your torso around in order to be able to kind of look about, but if it is maybe that you're doing some map reading, here we've got the original Oclip. Again, I can put this through here, it will clip it on there as well. So I've got this on, I want to do some map reading, and I want to use the red light on here. It's attached to the side, you can read your maps, you can do whatever it is that you want to do with this. This is cool. So I did a run with this the other morning. I got up extra early so that I could do a run with this. Had this on my head, I did take the Oclip and had this on. I've got it upside down. Just put it on. There you go. Once you know what you're doing, put it on, go for a run. Yeah, awesome. So there you go, the 3 reasons why I think these are awesome little everyday lights, plus kind of an extra little wild card that you can turn these amazing clip lights into a head torch as well. So there you go. Now, as usual, I'm sure there is probably an Olight sale. I have got a discount code, so if you want to pick any of these lights up, so I'm just clipping them to my pocket here at the moment. But if you did want to get some discount, then I'll leave some of those links below. And yeah, so there you go. Now, huge thank you to Olight. I thoroughly enjoy working with Olight. They did send me this band. They're reasonably inexpensive, and I think that's one of the good things about these is they are fairly cheap to be able to pick up, whether it's in the UK, Europe, North America. So I think if you are thinking of picking up an O-clip, you might as well get one of these O-clip headbands as well, just to add to the functionality of them. Yes, so I'll leave those links below. Bloody flies. I'll leave some of my social media links below as well, so that you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel. I have a second channel which is called Moorlander Tactical, where we look at more everyday tactical stuff. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Now the second thing, now the full OP build is having all 3 of them on. With this, not only can you see in the dark, but you can also see into the future and the souls of ginger people. It's amazing. Now people think that gingers don't have souls. I'm a ginger myself. We do. You just need very strong lights and at least 3 of them in a setup just like this to honestly truly be able to understand how the soul of a ginger works. Yeah, this is what I like to call an OP build. Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is my itchy face. There's so many flies today, it's ridiculous. So in between filming I have a fly net that I just pull over my head. I look a bit stupid, but it keeps the flies out of my face. But then when you take the fly net off, it makes your face feel a bit itchy because I've got like fresh air coming to my face. That's more than you needed to know, isn't it? I went off piste on that last bit. I think I fumbled quite a bit, but anyway, you got the impression. Yeah. Anyway, I think this is coming out today, which is Sunday. So hope you're good. Hope you all had a good weekend, and I'll see you soon.